Hello children, welcome back to class 10 second language English. So all these days you all attended school readiness program, right? And you have even attended the post test, you have submitted it to your class teacher, right? So now it is the time for us to go to our regular classroom sessions. So today we'll start our regular session. So before going to the class, I just want to ask you something. So usually you will get the vacation after your final exams, right? What do you do in your vacation? How do you enjoy your vacation? So you enjoy your vacation in many ways, right? You might have played with your siblings. You might have played with your friends. That is, you might have played many games like volleyball, football, cricket, right? And many of you might have been to fishing. Those who are residing in coastal areas, you enjoy fishing. And then many of you have been to summer camps. So in summer camps, you enjoyed with your friends, you made new friends, and you have learned many new things. And then most of you for sure have been to your native place and met your grandparents, met your aunt, uncle, and also enjoyed a lot with your cousins. So in the native place, what did you do? You might have visited your farm, enjoyed or learned about many farming activities that takes place there. And you might have talked a lot, discussed a lot with your grandpa. And the most memorable moment, the most enjoyable moment is the story time, that is the story told by your granny. So your granny is a bundle or a treasure house of stories, right? So you all enjoy the stories told by your granny. And also, what did your granny do? Your granny will prepare delicious food for you people, for all the grandchildren. So you all relish the delicious food prepared by your granny, right? So this is how you enjoy with your grandpa and grandma. So now let us know, how did the poet Ruskin Bond describe his grandma in the poem Grandma Climbs a Tree? So this poem, Grandma Climbs a Tree, is composed by the poet Ruskin Bond. Shall we read the poem now? Grandma Climbs a Tree, composed by Ruskin Bond. My grandmother was a genius. You would like to know why? Because she could climb trees, spreading or high. She'd be up their branches in a trice, and mind you, when last she climbed a tree, she was 62. Ever since childhood, she'd had this gift for being happier in a tree than in a lift. And though as years went by, she would be told that climbing trees should stop when one grew old, and that growing old should be gone about gracefully, she'd laugh and say, well, I'll grow disgracefully, I can do it better. And we had to agree. For in all the garden there wasn't a tree. She hadn't been up at one time or another, having learned to climb from a loving brother when she was 6, but it was feared by all that one day she'd have a terrible fall. The outcome was different. While we were in town, she climbed a tree and couldn't come down. After the rescue, the doctor took Granny's temperature and said, I strongly recommend a quiet week in bed. We sighed with relief and tucked her up well. Poor Granny! For her, it was like a brief season in hell. Confined to her bedroom, while every breeze whispered of summer and dancing leaves, but she had held her peace till she felt stronger. Then she sat up and said, I'll lie here no longer. And she called for my father and told him undaunted that a house in a treetop was what she now wanted. My dad knew his duties. He said, "That's all right. You will have what you want, dear. I'll start work tonight." With my expert assistance, he soon finished the core, made her a tree house with windows and a door. So Granny moved up, and now every day I climb to her room with glasses and tray. She sits there in state and drinks sherry with me, upholding her right to reside in a tree. So I think all of you enjoyed reciting the poem. So in the poem we have come across many new words. Right. So now let's know the new words. The very first line of the poem goes like this. My grandmother is a genius. Do you know why? So here, what is the meaning of genius? So the poet is calling his grandmother genius. So what does genius mean? Genius means exceptionally intelligent. And then comes another word, in a trice. She'd be up in the branches, in a trice, in the second line of the poem. In a trice means very quickly, very fastly. So to say in Kannada, kannu muಚ್ಚಿ ತೆಗೆಯೋಷ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ. So we use this phrase. No, kannu muಚ್ಚಿ ತೆಗೆಯೋಷ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ. In a trice means very quickly she could climb the trees. Or the next phrase which we came across in this poem is hold one's peace. So this phrase comes in 5th stanza. She held her peace until she felt stronger. So hold one's peace means to be quiet, to keep quiet. Silent age iruantaddu, to keep quiet. So next word is undaunted. She called for her son and said undauntedly. So this also appears in stanza 5. Undauntedly. Undauntedly means without hesitation, confidently. So that is the meaning of undaunted. Next comes the word confine. Confine to her bed. So that comes in stanza 4. Confine means restrict oneself or remain in a particular place for some time. Next word is core. So this word appears in the last stanza. With my expert assistance, he soon finished his core. Core means task or work. And the next word is uphold. Upholding her right to stay on the tree. Uphold. Uphold means to confirm or to make something clear. So these are the new words which we came across in this poem. So these words and the phrases which we came across now, that you can use in your everyday conversation. So now shall we discuss about the poem? So we have recited the poem, we came to know or we learned the meanings of different new words which we came across in this poem. Now let us understand the poem. When we recited the poem, the poet in the beginning of the poem says that my grandmother is a genius. So why did the poet call his grandmother a genius? Because what was the speciality of that granny? She could climb any kind of tree, whether it is spreaded or tall, even at the age of 62 years. So what is the age of the granny here? The granny is 62 years old and she could climb up any kind of tree, whether it is a spreaded tree or a tall tree. So that's why poet calls his grandmother a genius. Grandmother climbs the tree, right? Even at the age of 62, she climbs the tree. But who taught her to climb the tree? When did she learn it? Her brother. Granny's brother taught her to climb the tree when she was 6 years old. So when she was very small, when she was only 6 years old, she was taught to climb the trees by her brother. And did she like to climb the trees? Yes, she would like to climb the trees. Here in the poem it says that she would be happier in a tree than in a lift. Then what about the family members? What did the family members suggested her? They suggested her to stop climbing the tree and grow old gracefully. It doesn't suit the old people to climb the trees. So stop climbing the trees so that you can grow old gracefully. So this was the suggestion given by the family members to the grandmother. So why did they suggest like this, and what was the fear of the family members? The family members feared that if Granny doesn't stop climbing the trees, she may fall from the tree one day because she is very old. They feared that she would fall one day if she doesn't stop climbing the trees. But what happened? What did Granny do when nobody was there at the home? So when no one was there at home, what happened? The Granny climbed a tree, but she couldn't come down. Anyhow, she climbed the tree, but she could not come down the tree. So that was a problem. She was held up at the tree. Then what happened? Then family members managed to rescue her, and after her rescue, they called for a doctor. So what did the doctor tell? What did the doctor recommend Granny? The doctor, he took her temperature and recommended 1 week's bed rest. So was Granny happy? What is the feeling of the family members? The family members were relieved that for at least 1 week, Granny would not be doing any adventure of climbing the trees. So, but what about Granny? So, how did Granny feel about her one week's rest? So, for Granny, 1 week's rest was like a brief season in hell. She felt that as if she is spending her time in the hell. Naraka samana agittu. Why? Granny was very active. She used to go around. She used to climb the trees. But now what she has to do? She has to lie on the bed for 1 week. So Granny was very sad, and for Granny it was like a brief season in hell. So what did Granny ask for her son? So Granny called her son, and what did she demand? She demanded some unique thing. She asked her son to build a house on the tree top. So this was a demand of the Granny to her son. Did the son listen to Granny? Yes, of course. Son was very dutiful, so he listened to her. So what did he do? He started constructing a tree house. But who assisted the son to complete the task? It is the poet Ruskin Bond. Who is Ruskin Bond? Ruskin Bond is the grandson of that Granny. And Granny asked whom? Granny asked poet's father to build her a tree house. So the poet assisted his father to build a tree house for his Granny. So here in the poem, one line says, the dutiful son. How can you say that Granny's son was dutiful? So Granny's son or the poet's father made a tree house with door and windows for his mother. When Granny asked that she wanted a tree house, immediately son fulfilled her wish. Now Granny's wish is fulfilled, right? Granny had a beautiful tree house. So how did she enjoy her life? So Granny, after she was recovered, what did she do? She moved up the tree house, and every day, what did the poet used to do? The poet used to climb the tree house with food and drink, and there both of them, Granny and the grandson, enjoyed the glass of sherry. So Granny enjoyed her life on the tree house. So did you enjoy the poem, children? So here really Granny is genius, right? So can you recall something about your Granny or Grandpa? So this is about the poem. I think all of you have understood the poem and also enjoyed the poem. So now can we appreciate the poem? So the poems are very beautiful. You like to read the poems, right? So why do you like to read the poems? Because when you read the poems, you come across rhyming words. So in the poems, you come across rhyming words. What are the rhyming words? Rhyming words, when we pronounce them, they end with the same sound. So the words end with the same sound. Usually, rhyming words will be at the end of each line of the poem. So in this poem also we find the rhyming word and we call it as rhyming scheme. So what is the rhyme scheme in this poem? In this poem we find couplet. The rhyme scheme is couplet, that is, the last word of every consecutive line rhymes. In some of the poem we see the last word of every alternative line rhymes. So there we call it as A, B, A, B. But here in the couplet we see A, A, B, B, C, C. Here I have written A, A, B, B, C, C. Why? Because in the stanza we have 6 lines. So first 2 lines rhyme each other, and then third and the fourth line, that is B, B, they rhyme each other, and next 5th and the 6th line, that is C, C, they also rhyme each other. So here we call it as couplet. Can we identify the rhyming words in this poem? Children, open page number 18 and we'll do it together. So we'll write the rhyming pairs of rhyming words now. The first pair is Y, high. Second pair, U, 62. Third pair, gift, lift. Next, told, old. And then gracefully, disgracefully. I think all of you are writing with me, right? Or you might have marking in your textbook itself. The next pair is agree, tree. Another, brother. And now comes all, fall. Next comes town, down. Well, hell. Said, bed. Breeze, leaves. Stronger, longer. Undaunted, wanted. Right, tonight. Core, door. Day, tray. Me, tree. So I think that's all. We together completed the task of identifying the rhyming words. So please write it in your notebook and show it to your class teacher. Okay, so this is the rhyming words. This is one of the things which makes the poems very beautiful. Next comes another beautiful element which makes the poems more beautiful, even more beautiful, and yes, they are the figures of speech. And in Kannada, what do we call them? Alankaragalu. So what is these figures of speech? They are the poetic devices which make the poems more attractive, more meaningful and catchy. So the first figure of speech, or in this poem we find 2 figures of speech. So the first one here in this poem we learn about simile. So for simile in Kannada we call upamalankara. So what is simile? A simile is a figure of speech that directly compares 2 things using words such as like, as or so. So here we have 2 things which we compare. In Kannada also we have 2 things, upame ಮತ್ತು ಉಪಮಾನದಿಂದ ಹೋಲಿಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. So a simile is a figure of speech that directly compares 2 things using words such as like, as or so. So shall we see some examples? So example 1. The boy crept into the house as quiet as a mouse. So the boy is creeping into the house. How is he creeping? Like a mouse. So here the boy's creeping into the house is compared to the mouse creeping. Next example. We are seeing the clouds here and cotton candy. The clouds are fluffy like cotton candy. So here the puffiness of the clouds are compared with the puffiness of cotton candy using the term like. So the clouds are fluffy like cotton candy. What do we see here? We are seeing snowflakes. How are the snowflakes looking? They are looking like the stars. You may say they are looking like stars, right? And even they are shining like the pieces of diamond. So can we see the line now? So the snowflake sparkled like millions of tiny diamonds. So here the snowflakes are sparkling. How they are sparkling? They are sparkling like the tiny diamonds. So here the sparkling of the snowflake is compared with sparkling of diamonds. So using the word like. So we call it as a simile. So here snowflake is compared with the diamonds. In the previous example, what happened? In the previous example, clouds are compared with cotton candy, and in the first example, the boy's creeping is compared to the creeping of mouse. So these are all called as simile. Now the task for you is to identify the line in the poem where simile is used. So now children, open your textbook and in the poem you search for the line where simile is used. Is it difficult? Can I give you a clue? The clue is, it is in stanza 4. So find out a line in stanza 4 of the poem where you find simile. Have you searched for it? Yes, that is the line. Which is the line? Poor granny. For her, it was like a brief season in hell. So for poor granny, it. What is it here? 1 week's rest. 1 week's rest was like a brief season in hell. So granny is comparing that 1 week's bed rest to a brief season in hell. So the next figure of speech used in this poem is personification. So what is personification? Here we are finding the word personification. Person. Person means a man or a girl or a person. So personification is the figure of speech where human qualities are given to animals, objects or ideas. So can we see some examples? Yes. So in this picture, what do you see? Houses. How are the houses? They are in a line. The houses lined up the street silently watching the people walk by. They are in a line, just like we make a queue. So they are in a line and what they are doing? They are silently watching the people walk by. Silently, who watches? Human being. Silently watching attribute is given to the houses. So the houses are personified here. So in this example. Next example, the sun peeked happily from behind a cloud. So we see a cloud and from behind the cloud the sun is peeking. And whose quality is this? Who peeks? Usually human beings. So this is the common attribute of the human beings. So sun is peeking like human beings. So the sun speaking is personified here. Next example, the trees danced back and forth in the wind. So the tree is dancing to the wind, right? So how it is dancing? Back and forth. Who dances usually? Human being. So here the tree is dancing in the wind. So tree is personified. So now the task is to identify the line in the poem where personification is used. Shall I give you the clue? Yes, the clue is again you find personification in stanza 4. So come on, go to stanza 4 and find out the line where personification is used. Yes, you are right. The line is, while every breeze whispered of summer and dancing leaves. So the breeze is whispering. What is the breeze whispering? The breeze is whispering of summer and dancing leaves. So here we find two personifications. Breeze whispered. Whispering we do. Right, human beings do. And dancing human beings do. So here two personifications we see. Breeze whispered and dancing leaves. So here the leaves are also personified and the breeze is also personified as whispering of summer and the dancing leaves. This is about figures of speech that we come across in this poem. So did you enjoy it? And In the coming poems, can you identify simile and personification? Surely. I think you have understood it very well so that you can identify simile and personification in whatever the line it comes. Right? Okay. So now, today what we did? We enjoyed the poem. What is a poem? Grandma Climbs a Tree. And who composed it? It is composed by Ruskin Bond. So, shall we know something about Ruskin Bond, children? Yes. So, this poem is composed by Ruskin Bond. And who is this Ruskin Bond? He was born on 19th May 1934. He is an Indian author of British descent. His forefathers are British, but he lives in Landor, Missouri in India. The Indian Council for Child Education has recognized his role in the growth of children's literature in India. He has written more than 30 books for children. So, he is famous for children literature. So, Indian Council for Child Education has recognized his role in the growth of children's literature. He was awarded Sahitya Akademi Award in 1992 for his work Our Trees Still Grow in Dehra. It is his novel in English. So, for this novel, he was awarded Sahitya Akademi Award in 1992. And even he was awarded the Padma Shri in 1999 and the Padma Bhushan in 2014. So, he was awarded 3 awards. Which are the 3 awards? Sahitya Akademi Award in 1992, Padma Shri Award in 1999 and Padma Bhushan in 2014. His autobiography is Scenes from a Writer's Life. He talks about his granny as a strange person in this autobiography. So, in the poem also we have found his granny as a strange person, right? So, in his autobiography also he talks about his granny as a strange person. This poem shows his great ability to enjoy unusual events and actions. Here he has enjoyed the unusual event of grandma climbing a tree. So, this poem shows his great ability to enjoy unusual events and actions. Now, let us see what are his famous works. So, his notable works are Our Trees Still Grow in Dehra, that we came across. That is, he has got Sahitya Akademi Award for this novel, which is in English. And then A Flight of Pigeons, and another important one is The Blue Umbrella. The Blue Umbrella has also become a movie now. You can watch it in the YouTube. This is about the poet Ruskin Bond, who composed this poem Grandma Climbs a Tree. So, did you enjoy, children, the poem? Okay. So, now shall we go to the assignment section? Question number 1 is, in what way your grandma is special to you? Discuss. You have to write a few lines about your own grandmother, about special features, special characters, whatever you like in your grandma in few lines, in a paragraph. And in the poem, the poem says that poet's father was dutiful. How did he show his dutifulness? That you have to write. Next question, how did grandma enjoy her life on the tree house? So, these are the questions for you for today. Answer all these questions in a notebook and submit it to your class teacher. For more questions and for more answers related to this poem, you please scan the QR code which is there on the top of the poem in your textbook. There you will get, means it will open in Diksha application. So, install Diksha app in your mobile phone beforehand, and when you scan the QR code on the poem, you will get many questions and answers related to this poem, right? So, take down all the questions and answers in your notebook and submit it to your class teacher. And I hope all of you enjoyed the class. Thank you.